The Maryborough celebrations of the Centenary Federation got underway on the evening of Sunday the 18th of February 2001 with a combined church service in the spectacular Brolga Riverside Theatre and Convention Centre. Tuesday's activities began at the Riverview restaurant with an early morning wake-up call courtesy of the Maryborough Time Cannon and the familiar call of the town crier. Breakfast was hosted by the Maryborough Chamber of Commerce and guests were treated to an inviting breakfast as well as some entertaining guest speakers reminiscing the events of their era.
Maryborough's growth and development. Description, and we still had everything that the big cities had.
What I see a lot of changes in the houses which were...
Gators saw the commencement of the reenactment of the original Cobb & Co stagecoach line, and an early morning start each day was on the agenda.
All aboard!
Those who were fortunate enough to be passengers were treated to an insight of transport in those early days around Federation in the district. The original old coach road from Gayndah to Maryborough once again heard the sounds of horses and an original Cobb & Co stagecoach thundering along its path. An enduro drive from Gayndah to Maryborough also featured in the district's celebrations. Size didn't matter in this event, as the horses, sulkies, drivers and the backup crews all enjoyed several days of valuable camaraderie along the way. This event was organised by the Sunrise Rotary Club of Maryborough in conjunction with the Maryborough Harness and Saddle Pleasure Club. Celebrations also included industry tours at WM Olds & Son, Walkers Limited, Hine & Son, as well as an on-site cane field tour in association with the Maryborough Sugar Factory Limited. Thursday evening was Woocoo's turn to commence celebrations, and the arrival of the Cobb & Co stagecoach made for a brilliant backdrop for the events that followed.
Hi. Welcome to Woocoo Shire.
Wendy.
G'day.
Folk singer Richard Gaynor kept the large crowd entertained throughout the evening. Maryborough's own Guy McLean went through his paces to show why he was voted as the Australian champion bush poet, as well as showing his skills with his horses. It was Maryborough's turn again Friday, with a host of activities in the historic Wharf Street precinct of the city. The firing of the Time Cannon commenced festivities, followed by the arrival of dignitaries aboard the Cobb & Co stagecoach. Mayor Alan Brown welcomed the father of Federation, Sir Henry Parkes, to the precinct.
It is with a great deal of pleasure that I introduce to you Sir Henry Parkes, father of Federation, and the reason for these celebrations. Your Worship the Mayor and fellow citizens of the Commonwealth of the Colony of Queensland, it gives me great pleasure to be here on such an occasion as this. I want to thank the Mayor for his kind invitation, and I'd also like to thank every one of you here present this afternoon for your right royal welcome.
A gathering of town criers assembled in the area for an official welcome, much to the delight of the many who ventured out to be a part of these memorable Maryborough celebrations.
Thank you so much for being here with us.
MC Peter Gregory kept the large crowd informed of all the activities happening in the area, one of which included entertainment from the brilliant local Irish band Salanta.
Home from the rigs of the town, the meadow being alone and the grass being cut down, and there's your chance to tumble all in the new mow and hay. Oh, it's kiss me now or never. The bonny lass.
Well-known performer Billy Raymond was another performer who kept the entertainment rolling, this time at the Rotunda in Queen's Park.
In days of long ago, neath the shadow of Ben Craigie and Goswing's lordly sting.
Other attractions on such an entertainment-filled evening included the Festival of Family Trees in the old Customs House building in Wharf Street. A fashion parade through the years since the commencement of Federation proved to be very popular.
Okay. 1901 underwear, and it's definitely interesting, isn't it? A very modest look there. And here's Sky out first in her 80s outfit, just right for the disco. I think we were we still discoing in the 80s? I got past it by then.
Undoubtedly, the highlight of the Friday evening's activities was a spectacular fireworks display from the Granville Bridge, and was a sight never witnessed before in Maryborough. The display was simulcast on local radio station Mix FM 103.5. The reflections in the Mary River added to the brilliant effects and atmosphere of the fireworks. There was still more in store for the die-hard partygoers, with the final of the Great Aussie Joke-Off in the foyer of the Brolga Theatre. One of Australia's rising comedians, Chris Franklin, hosted the finals that had a slight touch of the R classification.
And he rings a bell on the front desk, and the guy said, "Yes, mate, what can we do you for?" I said, "Listen."
I always laugh at my own jokes, sorry.
That's actually not the joke, that's the lead up to it.
Woocoo were back into celebrations again Saturday morning with the arrival in Brewina of the rail motor from Biggenden and free buses from Maryborough. Several thousand visitors throughout the day arrived in the picturesque country town and enjoyed the many and varied displays that boasted a wealth of memorabilia of the district.
We got a fantastic culture in Australia.
Maryborough Mayor Alan Brown enjoyed the displays at one of the Brewina historical displays. Free horse-drawn buggy rides around the town proved very popular for the young and the not-so-young, as did the performing singing swagman alias Cole Bounder.
And here goes, baby.
Everybody clap your hands and say, beauty, mate. Have a lovely day.
Entertainment throughout the day was supplied by folk singer Richard Gaynor and bush poet Bob Miller.
We sank a few more, and we sank a few more, and then, well, we lost count at 9, so we just started again.
The many varied and interesting displays proved very popular with the crowds.
I am the host crier from Maryborough to entertain all these fellows here today. They come here because they love Maryborough and the surrounding district better than their own town. So I wish us all here today, you prosper and grow a bit more during the years for the next Federation. Thank you.
The Maryborough Rowing Club held a special Centenary of Federation regatta on the Mary River. A feature of the regatta was an appearance of some of Maryborough's past rowing champions. The views of the regatta from Queen's Park were simply stunning. Displays in the Federation Room of the Brolga Theatre depicted life in the district in the days around Federation. early evening at the Brolga was the scene of a sausage sizzle. Friends meeting friends before the stage and theatre came to life with special guest Bulla McCanker. Maryborough had never seen a day like the Sunday in and around Queen's Park. There was something for everyone, and it all began with a blast from the past with the sounding of the old Walker's whistle, a once familiar sound that echoed throughout Maryborough. The arrival of the sulkies entered the Enduro Drive from Gayndah. The car park next to the band hall provided an excellent opportunity for everyone to witness the form of transport of yesteryear. Back in the park, there was entertainment, displays, referendums and demonstrations, including rope making and a Queensland Rail silver spike tank. The launch of the Federation Walk honoured the 8 federal politicians who have served Wide Bay to this current day. A history on the achievements of these politicians was read out loud by invited town criers.
Andrew Fisher, federal member for Wide Bay, 1902 to 1915.
Edward Barnard Cressette Corsa, federal member for Wide Bay, 1915 to 1928.
Bernard Henry Corsa, federal member for Wide Bay, 1928-1954.
Sir William Alfred Brand, CBE, federal member for Wide Bay, 1954 to 1958.
Henry Charles Bandit was born in Lake Claren, near Gatton, on October the 12th, 1906.
The daughter of the late Brendan Hanson spoke about her father's achievements.
Brendan Percival Hanson, AM, federal member for Wide Bay, 1961 to 1974.
Amongst the guests were Clary Miller and the current member for Wide Bay, Minister Warren Truss.
Percival Clarence Miller, AM, federal member for Wide Bay, 1974 to 1990.
Warren Errol Trust, federal member for Wide Bay from 1990.
Back to the Mary River, and the trick ski performances by members of the Maryborough Ski Club was a spectacular sight. One of the highlights of the day's activities was the arrival of the flotilla in time, which saw a procession of various craft making their way up the river. There were craft of all ages, shapes and sizes. This Titanic theme won the award for the best figurehead. As the Rainbow Gypsy approached, it turned back and surprised many with the firing of its cannon. This beautiful vessel was built in Bundaberg and is a replica of the 1897 square-rig sailing Bawley. The Energix helicopter rescue service from the Sunshine Coast put on a display of a marine rescue. The afternoon saw heads turn skywards as the Maryborough Aero Club did a flyover. The low-level passes by this locally owned and restored 1950s French facade was another highlight of the day's activities. Ping-pong balls were dropped to the waiting crowds below, who were all hoping to find the balls with the many prizes, including the major prize. A Clydesdale and human tug-of-war was a fun event, and the two-footed variety proved it cannot match the awesome power of four. Other activities that featured in and around Maryborough was the opening to the public of various historic homes that included Charlecombe, Mavis Bank and Rosehill. Grand Shirl's Doll and Toy Museum was yet another interesting highlight of the day's festivities that eventually came to a close with presentations back in Queen's Park.
Bob, on behalf of the committee and Maryborough Federation Queensland, we'd like to present you with this memento to thank you very much for your hard work and dedication throughout the last, 18 months it has been, putting this whole show together. And ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and thank you very much.
Speech. Speech. Speech.
This is a big surprise. I'd just like to thank all our committee members. They've worked so hard. It's true that we've been organising this for 18 months. People like Steve Marmborg from Cagnara, you just couldn't believe the work that's gone into that wonderful Co & Co stagecoach reenactment. Thank you, Steve. To David Proctor, the chairman of the committee, to Sue Hart, who organised the flotilla. You just sat there and applauded, but if you had to realise the red tape and bureaucratic things we had to jump through, and Sue was the one that was making all the phone calls and writing all the letters, it was just extraordinary. So well done. To Tracy Jenrick from the council, she's put in an amazing amount of effort. So I think they should all come up here on stage and get a bit of a clap too. Peter Cochran and any of the others. I know you don't like speeches. I hate speeches, but I think they've earned a bit of a clap. I certainly haven't done it on my own.
The closing sentence of Greg Boldrow during his talk at the Centenary Federation breakfast earlier in the week capably summed up why these celebrations were the success they were.
Bloody hell, it was a great place to live. It still is.